In the last decade, Disney has loved making live action remakes of their animated classics. And with Pinocchio, we have yet another one.
Not another one? Oh, for God's sake, I can't stand this.
But unlike many of the previous, this one has gone straight to Disney Plus as part of their Disney Plus Day instead of going to cinemas. But it turns out that Disney might have saved some people some money here because this is very much an insignificant remake. This film is very much a beat for beat of the animated classic, but a bit like with the Lion King remake, it's really lacking that expression, it's really lacking that charm of the original. And what I hear from a lot of people who support these remakes is that it's a good starting point for kids to get into the world, but I'm like, well, it's not really a good starting point because a good starting point would be watching the original one. And once you've done watching that original film, why would you even want to bother watching a soulless copy of it? You'd always just go and watch the original again. Look, Pinocchio was never one of my favourite Disney films growing up, but I remember it did leave an impression on me. I remember watching it and seeing the donkey scene, for example, and thinking, wow, this is pretty dark. But I enjoyed it as a kid because it was something a bit different from what I'm used to watching, you know? But with this new version, just felt like they were sort of going through a checklist of making sure I got all the key moments in the film, and then that was about it. Whereas one of the better Disney remakes, in my opinion, was The Jungle Book, because they did something a little bit different with that one. And the original Jungle Book was one of my favourite Disney films growing up, so you're going to have that protective feeling over it. But with that one, it did enough well to happily watch the original, but also then watch the remake. Was it all bad? Well, I actually think some of the voice acting was pretty good, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Jiminy Cricket, and I think Jiminy Cricket as an overall character in the film was very well realised. And also the child actor Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, who voiced Pinocchio, I thought did a fine job as well. Tom Hanks tried as Geppetto, and some of the CGI was pretty impressive, but he couldn't save it from being a very hollow remake. We actually have another Pinocchio film coming out in December on Netflix, with Guillermo del Toro directing that one. With this one, it's going to be a retelling of the famous fairy tale, so I've got high hopes for this one.
A story of the wooden boy.
But back on this version of Pinocchio, it will join the last Disney remake I watched in Dumbo in being consigned to oblivion. So have you checked out the Pinocchio remake, and if you have, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on it. And if you want to have to watch on screen right now is our reaction to episode 3 of House of the Dragon, as well as a video on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.